Hello and welcome to this GCSE Science revision video on nerves and coordination that will be in the core biology GCSE. This video will cover nerves and reflexes, the menstrual cycle, homeostasis and plant hormones. The first section which I want to look at is nerves and reflexes. Nerves carry nerve impulses towards the central nervous system and away from the central nervous system. There are two main groupings that you need to be aware of when talking about nerve cells. Receptors are groups of specialized cells. They detect a change in the environment, which is called stimulus, and produce electrical impulses in response. Sense organs contain many groups of receptors that are specific to a certain stimuli. An effector is a part of the body, such as a muscle or a gland, that produce a response. The main examples of effectors are muscles contracting, muscles squeezing glands, so some sort of enzyme or chemical is produced, or glands releasing other certain hormones or being triggered to make certain hormones. The main sense organs are the skin, which is sensitive to touch and temperature, the tongue, which detects chemicals in food, not taste, the nose, which detects chemicals in the air, not smell, the eyes, which detect light, and the ears, which detect sound. Each of these sense organs turn these stimuli into nervous impulses that then travel back to the brain. So, the structure of the nervous system goes from receptors down sensory neurons to the central nervous system. From the central nervous system through motor neurons to effectors such as muscles and glands. Reflex actions are a way that your body protects itself. A reflex action is a way for the body to automatically and rapidly respond to a stimuli to minimize damage which does not involve the brain. The general path for a reflex is a receptor. So, for instance, a receptor in the skin which detects a stimulus. This sends a nerve impulse down a sensory neuron. The sensory neuron passes its nerve impulse to the central nervous system, which is the spinal cord. The nerve impulse then goes down a motor neuron and sends an impulse to an effector, and the effector produces a response. Between different nerve cells are synapses. Synapses are small gaps in between two nerve cells where electrical transmitters called neurotransmitters diffuse into. As the nerve impulse arrives at the node of one nerve cell, vesicles containing neurotransmitter move to the surface and release the neurotransmitter into the synapse. This neurotransmitter then diffuses across the synapse and hits receptors on the opposite nerve cell. This triggers a nerve impulse to be generated in it. The menstrual cycle in women is a recurring process in which the lining of the uterus, so the womb, is prepared for pregnancy. If pregnancy does not happen, the lining is shed at menstruation. Another way, or another phrase that's more commonly used for this, is when a woman has a period. Several hormones control the cycle, which include controlling the release of an egg each month from the ovary and changing the thickness of the uterus lining. These hormones are secreted by the pituitary and the ovaries. FSH is secreted by the pituitary gland. FSH makes two things happen. It causes an egg to mature in the ovary, and it stimulates the ovaries to release the hormone estrogen. The hormone estrogen in turn turns off the production of FSH, as realistically you only want one egg maturing each month, as multiple births can be problematic, and it stimulates the ovaries. So the ovaries are releasing estrogen. This stimulates the pituitary gland to release the hormone LH. The hormone LH causes the mature egg to be released from the ovary. And the last hormone is progesterone, which maintains the uterus lining and turns off the production of LH by the pituitary gland. So, the menstrual cycle starts with the pituitary gland producing the hormone FSH. FSH causes eggs to mature in the ovaries. The maturing eggs release the hormone estrogen. The estrogen passes back in the bloodstream to the pituitary gland and causes it to stop the production of FSH. At the same time, it causes the production of LH. The LH travels back round in the blood to the ovaries and causes the mature egg to be released from the egg follicle. The mature egg then moves down the fallopian tubes towards the womb in preparation for it to be fertilized. The empty egg follicle releases the hormone progesterone for about 7 days. The hormone progesterone stops the pituitary gland from producing any LH, and it stops the uterus lining from breaking down. After 7 days, when the progesterone runs out, the uterus lining breaks down and the menstrual cycle begins again. Homeostasis is the constant maintenance of an internal environment to allow maximum or optimum conditions for chemical reactions in the body. Controlling water and iron levels is one key feature in homeostasis that you can be asked about. So, water can move in and out of the body. It moves into the body by drinking, and it's lost by breathing, sweating, and in urine. Water concentration within the body is controlled by the kidneys. The second part of homeostasis, which you could be asked about, is controlling body temperature. Core body temperature is always at 37 degrees, as this is the temperature that enzymes work best at. The main ways that we cool down is by sweating, as the sweat takes heat from the body by evaporation. If we're too cold, we can begin shivering, which causes muscles to contract, which generates heat by respiration. Blood glucose is controlled by the hormone insulin, which is produced by the pancreas. The final topic in this section that we need to cover are plant hormones and how they cause a plant to grow. A tropism is a growth response to or away from a stimulus caused by plant hormone. Plant hormones are called auxins and are produced in the stem tips and roots, which control the direction of growth. Plant hormones can also be used in weed killers, rooting powder, and to control ripening fruits. There are two main types of tropisms. Positive tropisms cause the plant to grow towards a stimulus, and a negative tropism causes the plant to grow away from the stimulus. During phototropism, the auxin at the tip of a shoot will move away from the light. Because it moves to the opposite side of the shoot to the light, it diffuses just down that one side. As it diffuses down that one side, it causes cells in that side to grow more and elongate more than on the opposite side, causing the plant to grow towards the light. In geotropism, most questions start by talking about having a seed that has already started to grow a root and shoot and laying it flat. The auxin in the shoot will get pulled down to the bottom of it or the underside of it by gravity. The auxin on this underside causes the cells to grow more, which causes the shoot to bend upwards and grow upwards. It does not grow towards the light, it grows away from gravity. In the root, the opposite happens. The auxin is pulled to the underside. This causes the underside to grow less. This in turn causes the root to go and bend towards the ground, or it grows towards gravity. So remember, when you're revising, turn off mobile phones and don't do it while watching the telly. You'll remember a lot more if you're revising earlier rather than later. Quality revision is more useful than quantity of revision, and make sure that you're revising well ahead of the exam, as last minute revision will hinder you. There's a link below for a summary sheet to go with this video. Please like it and subscribe for more GCSE revision videos, and good luck with your exams.